Aries, welcome back to the channel. This is your January 2024 soul story. If you've got a sun rising or your moon is in the sign, this reading might resonate. It's Romy. Thank you so much for taking the time to join me on the channel. I appreciate your support. So we're going to open up this new year with the Knight of Swords. And, you know, you're definitely going to have a little bit more of a clear head than you might have expected in this first part of January. That's thanks to Mercury stationing direct on the 2nd. And we're also going to see Mars moving into Capricorn on the 4th. And here we're going to be asking ourselves those questions of, you know, what am I doing and why am I doing it? And it might just kind of bring one or two sort of wake up calls for you early on in the month. That help to give you more direction, okay? You hold far more power this month than I think you can perhaps comprehend, and you know, it'll certainly reveal itself as we move through January. And the Knight of Swords tells me that, you know, there is news and information that's traveling towards you that's really imperative to your decision making and your thought process about the timing of something, okay? Because you might have been deliberating over, you know, should I start this now? Is this the right time to share this? Or, you know, whatever it is connected to time. And, you know, there is a slight urgency, I think, coming through with that Knight of Swords that might just help to make your mind up for you, or certainly put things into motion maybe a little bit earlier than you might have anticipated. We do have this really grounded Capricorn season though, and what I need you to remember this month is that you were the strength when you needed it, you know, the times that you felt weak. You brought the light on the darkest days and you became the healer, you know, when there was times where you just felt broken. And so the courage that you brought has really enabled you to do the hard things, and you can be any and all that you need to be this month for yourself. And that agency, I think, is going to be so powerful to really kind of come to terms with and to accept, okay? Now we're going to make our way towards a new moon in Capricorn on the 11th, and coming in at 20 degrees, there's also some interesting conversations happening with Neptune and Uranus, meaning that we have a little bit of a freedom-seeking outlook and also quite a transcendent experience set to take place around that time. So you might have something, you know, intervention-wise spiritually, or just have a really fated meeting. But, you know, on the sort of foundation of that powerful, grounded Capricorn energy, it really sort of brings in this very powerful partnership, if you like, that can be incredibly healing for you. And I want you to allow yourself to almost like feel some sense of excitement and hope and anticipation for all that you're still to become, that you're still to feel, to achieve and to celebrate. And that might be difficult, you know, because the distractions and the disorientating energy can definitely lead you down the rabbit hole. And, you know, we can have two very different outlooks of what we think is ahead of us. Now, let's be clear, you know, 2024 comes in with a numerology 8 year, which means that, you know, we are developing our personal power. And there's this balance around reward and achievement. And we need to be realistic with that. We need to be specific. But we can prosper. So as long as we're not afraid to do the work and we're not afraid to face things. And remember, at the same time, you've had these incredible spiritual movements that have taken place through your own journey in the last, you know, 12 months of 2023. And so now you have access to higher wisdom and discernment, more understanding, more intuitive development within yourself. Yeah, so even though we have this very, okay, we have to do the hard things this year and this month, we're also looking at it from a slightly different perspective and being able to work with our own energy field in a new way. And when we see the news and information or the catalyst for change coming with that Knight of Swords, it is bringing in a recovery and a sense of rejuvenation and hope. It is reminding you of how protected you actually are within your path at this moment in time. Sometimes we know that we want to change something, and we can feel that with every fibre of our being. And yet we don't quite fully know how to do it, or whether we're even fully prepared for it. And there's a little bit of that vibe going on. So you need to sort of give yourself permission to be this like epic work in progress, through the month of January, and really just go little by little, because that's going to be so much better than just not moving at all. We've got the Emperor coming in here, and, the need to have a plan, even though the plan may need to change. But I think this is about you just giving yourself some structure and some parameters and some definition of the things that matter and what's important. And some of you might really thrive on the time of year for setting goals. And for others, you might just need to feel your way into the frequency and just be like super easy, in that first part of the month. But the Emperor is advocating here to kind of make sure that you take your position, your natural position. So you may be asked to step up in some way. You may even feel slightly challenged. I feel like somebody might be intentionally trying to wind you up through the course of this month. But remember, minor conflicts are just background noise. They don't need to derail you. They don't need to cause any doubt or disturbance to your peace or your plans, okay? Now, Juno, asteroid goddess, is going retrograde in Virgo on the 12th, right around that new moon. She moved into the sign in October and has this extended stay. And remember, she rules over partnerships, agreements, marriages, relationships. And so in retrograde with Virgo, we tend to sort of then bump up against the challenges, the things that are not working. This is not working. This is not right. These details are not going to suffice anymore. And so it can be a little bit difficult, and we can all become a bit judgmental and overly critical. But the reason that these things come to light is so that they can be addressed and they can be healed. But it means that we do need to speak out, we need to find our voice, and we need to be authoritative in what is not working, because a perpetuation of that will lead to some more powerful fracture lines down the line. So, through this season while she's retrograde, everything gets highlighted, and then we have the opportunity to work on it. And when she stations direct, you will find a lot of harmony gets restored and brought back into balance to make something even better, or, perhaps to realize now's the time to separate or move away. So know that as she stations retrograde, you're likely to kind of find almost more irritation and more frustration at some of the things that might be coming to light in those agreements, partnerships, relationships, marriages. And perhaps what felt like something you could tolerate has now become something that, is just constantly kind of overwhelming, or causing you some sense of like, I don't know if I can handle this. Or it's just like, you see it more than you ever did before. Our Nine of Pentacles, you might be seeking that sense of freedom or resiliency for the self, to break away, or to just want to kind of have more agency over your own pathway and what you're doing. It doesn't necessarily mean to say that this has to break something up or break something down, but it does bring about the requirement to have honest discussions and conversations in a really realistic way. And this is where Mars and Capricorn energy, Mercury moving into the sign on the 14th, all of this can be super supportive, because we're just being truly transparent and realistic, and we know what it's going to take. So there's not any illusions over it. But what we're seeing here is that there's something that, is burning away brightly within you. I think you've already made some traction and progress towards it in your life. And it's just like, well, I want to see where it goes. I want to see how much can be achieved. And here's like where your resiliency kicks in. Yeah. And, it's almost this creation of this powerful armor, this kind of cloak of protection that I see coming in around you. And it doesn't take away from your softness, but it is this form of self-protection to give you space so that you can heal and deal, but most importantly, that you can progress and grow and prosper in the areas of your life that are meant to be coming into bloom. Remember, all different aspects of our journey are in different seasons and cycles. And sometimes what can happen is if something is dying away or in a place of stagnancy, we can just automatically feel, or it starts to seep into those areas of our life that are not meant to be, that they are coming to life. And so there's something here that wants to be harvested, that wants to be recognized and celebrated. And, you may feel a bit challenged or, in some way restricted to be able to fully embrace that. So we need to deal with whatever that is through the month of January. And again, it sort of helps you to, I suppose, set a precedent, for yourself, but also with others as to what needs to be done and, what is acceptable. And you've changed irrevocably so much. So it's to what degree are you now going to start to truly walk your talk with that? So, slightly tested in that way in this early part of the year. And remember, Capricorn energy is the 10th house for you. So you want to make your mark in the world. You're trying to kind of really consider how the impact of your actions leaves legacy and what that means to you, and, bringing in a new sense of meaning around things to help keep you motivated is going to be really important through the course of January for you as well. So the sun's going to shift into Aquarius on the 20th, and of course Pluto then makes its move out of Capricorn into Aquarius right through till 2nd of September. We then have the final dip into Capricorn energy before it fully stations into Aquarius on the 19th of November. And you're feeling this shift. We all are. It's too profound to not. And I think for you, there's a sense of reflectiveness going on there. It's sort of, what has affected you really over these last few years with Pluto and Capricorn. I mean, right back to 2008. And so there must be much of that journey that, you have very conflicted feelings about. And yet, what we always understand when we're working with an energy like the Five of Cups is that, we can have regrets. It's natural, it's human. We can feel into a loss or a sense of grief or feel the bitter disappointment of something. And yet, it doesn't have to render us in a stagnant place. We can accept that we don't want to accept all the difficult things that happened or all the challenges or all the uncomfortable experiences, but nonetheless they're still part of the fabric of our life, and we have these two cups still standing, and so there's something still here worth investing and moving towards and directing our energy and attention. And so, we have to make peace with that, because Pluto has a new conversation and something else to say to you that you're going to be working with now in this next chapter, and we have to listen. And if we're kind of all hunched up and bent over and we're so kind of buried in the reflections of the past and perhaps regret around that, then we're not able to see and we're not able to truly harness some of the things that are coming into season for us this month. And that, it matters, because this is where you're holding much more power than you can comprehend. But it would be easy to look in the wrong direction and feel less than, which is why, again, I'm saying, remember the days and the weeks and the months and the years where you were the thing that you needed most. Sometimes, we have to kind of appreciate and acknowledge where others' support and certain things have happened. But by and large, you have to be your own hero in the story, right? And you have, because you're still here showing up. So time to remember that is also going to be really important, because it's going to give you the courage to be able to process in and around that energy. Now, we have this really powerful full moon in Leo arriving on the 25th at 5 degrees. Fellow fire energy, and there's a conversation with Jupiter, which means that this is like a loud, proud, let's put it out there, let's get the performance, let's be seen, let's lay it on the line, let's go big or go home. This is a charged, power-packed moon. And, just following it, 27th, Uranus stations direct, which also means that the progress that needs to be made requires a bold action. So this is the time. And I love the Three of Wands coming in this, specifically because he's sitting beneath the Emperor here as well. And it's just like, you do recover, you do regroup, and you do kind of find what it takes and what's necessary to sort of harness that and to put yourself out there and lay it on the line in whatever area you need to, because this is about you stepping up. This is about saying, yes, I claim this position. Yes, I claim this experience or this life that I want to lead or this vision that I have. And it's like it's going beyond just the vision board now. This is like your life story and how you're seeing it play out and how it impacts the people around you. And, you know, all of these influences and intricacies and just making it brighter and bolder than it's ever been. So, you know, this is a moon that definitely wants to advocate for you and for your voice to be heard. And you can put on the performance of a lifetime if you need to around this time. So if you got to convince someone of something, or you got to be something that you don't feel quite ready or confident to be, you know, here's the one to work with. Now, people will be incredibly attention seeking around this moon, disrupted slightly with Uranus as well. So there could be some shocks and surprises in terms of people's behaviour and maybe acting out a little bit, which could bring some drama for sure. But in our awareness, our new heightened spiritual discernment and awareness, we can also look at this and go, right, okay, I know that, you know, this is why they're doing it. So it can help you feel a little bit less judgmental perhaps, and not perhaps take things too personally if it feels directed or particularly triggering, or someone's sort of especially trying to wind you up. And you yourself may feel, you know, gosh, I maybe took that a bit far. You know, there's that kind of a vibe. But again, just giving yourself permission to be like, well, okay, you know, I needed to say it and I was going to go all the way with it. I was just going to be loud and proud with whatever I had to say or express, you know, because that's what that moon was extracting from you at that moment. So be at peace with that, because this maverick, slightly, you know, kind of unique and almost revolutionary vibe that comes with Uranus again stationing direct a couple of days after, it's just sort of pulling that out, just demanding that of you. Yeah, it's just time to shake it up. It's like a real shake up moon, okay? So by the end of January, even if we have been in that sort of quieter, reflective time, you're definitely feeling ready to sort of take something on. And I think that's important, because again, you know, this is a work 8 year. We also, from a Chinese perspective, we're going to be moving into the dragon energy, the greenwood dragon. So it's about movement and growth. And, you know, this determination, this depth of awareness, and this ability to move from sort of panic to peace, you know, is going to be super important to help you just get things done. Otherwise, you could just literally kind of sit in this place of just being so affected by what is happening all around you and pulled off and derailed. And that's just not where we see you coming from. This is why the plan and the intention matters. Yeah. If you're new to the channel, Aries, our last 3 cards we cover in the extended reading. You can find that in the comment and description box beneath. I talk for another 30 minutes or so and just explore this more deeply, along with a personal question and a relationship card. So I hope you will join me. It's a way to support the channel so I can keep showing up here on YouTube. I am going to go ahead and clarify this main read, see what messages want to come through for us. So, Knight of Swords, we have the 8 of Cups, interesting, and the 7. Star brings us the 4 of Pentacles, the 5 of Pentacles, 8 of Swords, another 3 of Wands. I like this for you. Okay, what about this 9, 4 of Cups, Knight of Pentacles, Queen of Wands, lovely. All the decks I use are always listed below, Aries, okay? And we've got the King of Swords coming through and the Fool. Interesting. Okay. Let's have a look at these oracles. So, Life Soul Vision is my deck. If you are new to my channel, please, you can check out all of my sacred titles over on the website. Have a look and just see if anything resonates for you. Everything I create is here to support you on your soul journey. Detours from the divine. Interesting. Portals of possibility. Look at these windows that you're getting. Window into the future here. Rise in love. We've got crown energy. Enlightened in the exhale. We've got the spirit lion. Spiritual strength. Honesty at the edge of quiet. The gathering. And alchemize the ache. Okay, pull a couple more oracles for Aries for January. What do we have here? We've got 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel coming through. And finally, the energy of abundance coming in with the Crow Oracle. Beautiful. Aries, thank you for joining me. I hope you will continue this conversation in the extended. I wish you a beautiful month ahead. Take it easy. I will see you again next time. All the best. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye.